Hi, Josh here with the Adventure Bound project. Here's an update on our camp kitchen. Brought it into my garage here. We just moved home, so it's a little messy still, but camp kitchen. Let me show you the updates. So again, we have coffee top lids to create nice workspaces. This will be a big pull-out drawer system. And this moves out. Pretty cool. And then we have the second one. Let me show you what it's like at night now. Well, let's call it dusk, because it's still light outside. But I'm going to turn this battery bank on, just in here. This is just a mock-up. Of course, this will be hardwired into the camper. It's going to beep, apologies. And then when we press these buttons, we have a cook space. Really cool LED light ups. I really like these ones. Cook space is illuminated, and the underspace is illuminated too. So you'll be able to not trip over anything. There's just two wires in there. And then let's get nice and close up in there. These ones will actually be changed. Those are just to make sure we can test them. I really prefer these push ones. They're really nice. I can show you how I wired these switches up, no problem at all. So that's that, and then full cook space. It's gonna be epic. Once again, let me show you this just in the daylight. Of course, this battery bank won't be there. This is just so I can add power to show you the light ups here. Let's go underneath. So we just routed in these Amazon lights. Real simple, real easy. And then the wiring in here is really simple. We just have two of those switches, and they are the 5.1s, so you have to decide which way you like them. I can explain all that in a different video. We use these connectors. These secondary orange ones on the left will be changed out. I just had 3 to fit into one, and I didn't have the connector. Yeah, pretty cool. So they will be switched out into these ones. I really like these ones. They're nice connectors. And then under here will also be a propane hookup. Sorry, better shot. There, this will be a door that flips down to hide everything, and there will be a propane hookup into the stove. This is the underside of this workspace here. So this is going to be a stove. Everything will be waterproofed and painted. We'll take all this apart, waterproof and paint it, and then put it all back together again. Just while we've got this is actually not connected at the moment, so I can show you how I built that section. I'm just trying to keep the weight down here, so we just needed space and structure for this board to sit into there. There's not much space in this side. This was primarily so it would go over the stove, and the stove could have a home, if you will. The stove is this height. I've measured it out. But in these little side sections, we can get some cutlery or some utensils. They'll just fit in here nicely. And then we actually have a little gap here that I might do some inset foam for, again, cutlery. Where this is the battery pack sitting, it's very lovely for a lot of space in there for utensils or cooking. We can do spice racks and all that stuff for cooking. Paper towel, all that stuff can sit in here ready to use in the kitchen. Brilliant working spaces. I'm really happy with these. They're really, really, really solid. Like, we can cut on those all day and lean on them. Put beer on there and cut holes for whatever you need, right? Yeah, all this will be painted. This is just from the back side. Worked out really, really well. Really happy with this. And I think we're going to do the same colour as the camper, or slightly different. But then we'll do aluminium trim, so it'll match the runners here. And we'll just do some square trim all the way around it, just to finish it off, and it'll look super. Fun project. Time for a little look at our switch panels. One's going to be in the main living space of the camper, and the other one's going to be in the galley. I'll explain which one's which and how we are going to pop all that together. Remember, in the camper we've done all our wiring already. These will then be connected to that wiring, goes into that fuse box. We'll then show you that large electrical system once we've popped it all together. Here we go. So this one is our main switch panel. It goes in the camper. And yeah, so we have a charging port. There's a normal and a faster charging port. Great thing about this one, it has a little LED light in here that tells you the voltage that's running to it. So that's kind of a quick gauge in the camper, just to allow us to see what volts are running through. And then we will have a water pump and some exterior lights and some more exterior lights. And then this one is for the interior lights, which is on a dimmer. It's really nice. Nice little control dimmer here. And the reason why we've got two exterior lights is one's for the camp kitchen area, where we will be set up the most of the time, and then the other one would be for the other side of the camper, if we needed to light up that. And I've actually done something here which is only for me, no one else would know, but there's a slight, there's a smaller gap here and then here. All that does for me is just do a separation of, well, this is the water pump, and I wanted it just to be a tiny bit away, and then these two are the exterior lights. Let me spin this around and show you the mess in the back, which will confuse a lot of people, but I'll do a quick, nice little talk. We do have a more in-depth video about this. So, we've used these push connectors. I find these really, really handy. They're really concise. They keep it nice and clean. I'm really, really happy the way that these work out. But if I separate these are just for those push buttons. There's a few wires going in and out of each one, but if I take away that mess, that's just for all those lighting systems. The dimmer switch is slightly different. I went for these heat shrunk crimp connectors with these ones. They just seem to it will flow better in the camper. And these are just for the puck lights. The puck lights look like this. So there'll be 4 of these in the ceiling, and these will connect into here, and then it has a main supply and a main ground. Those are nice and simple, and then they're dimmable on a 12-volt system. Work really well. The other lights are also 12 volts, so imagine this one is an exterior light that would be hooked up in the same way as these are, just not dimmable. Same with this one, and then this goes off to the water pump, so we can control when the water comes on and off. We could keep it on all the time when we're in the camper, but we'd want to make sure that, you know, if there's a leak or anything, it doesn't keep pumping if we can switch it off, so it's got an isolator switch. The charging station for USB, just over here. Again, we use the similar crimp and heat shrink connectors onto that, but these ones do have a push. There's some bigger prongs that come off this, and they just push onto that, so I chose those ones. just nice and easy. Nice little box that I can connect to the wall. And then what we can do with that is access this panel all the time, rather than it being all in the wall and I have to tear the wall down. So my thought pattern here was, you have a nice little station here, and then imagine this was a phone. Just pop the phone up on the top, and then we can have it as a little shelf kind of thing. It's just a little feature within the camper. Okay, I'll pop that one aside. On to the second one. This one goes into the galley. So it doesn't have sides because it doesn't need to. These will butt up to the walls, and I've made this the whole countertop width. And this is a very, very simple hookup. Same switches, I've done those throughout the camper. Same the ones that are on the camp kitchen too. Little push connectors, and then we would have this goes into the inverter. So if we have a coffee machine, or somebody wants to do a hairdryer or something like that, these just pop into the plugs we did a minute ago. There we go. It'll obviously we wouldn't use a charger because we could just plug this straight into the USB, but or lightning. But it would charge a coffee pot or something like that, and that would run off the inverter, which we would have to indirectly or directly go switch on itself. So very, very simple again. A couple of pieces of wood, drill some holes, and then in the back, very, very simple setup. This is the same plug as before. Use the same connectors because I think they're really clean. And then we just have a household plug, and this will be not 12 volt. This will be 110. So either you would have to be hooked up to shore power, or use the inverter once we get the inverter and we can invert into it. For the interim, it will just be a shore power connection. And then we will have two of these in the camper. One is on this switch panel, and the other one will just be by the side of the bed, allowing somebody to sit on the bed and plug in to that system. It'll be a very simple extension cord to start that connects into a wall electricity, just like your plugs in your houses. Same idea, but this one will just this one will be at the back, and then there'll be another one very similar looking in the camper, and that's it. That's all we need for our power. We don't have much, but the electricity does run everywhere. Even if you don't need much, it you need to still run the same wires. It still goes to the same place. And when we turn on the dimmer switch, it will have the dimming effect. Sorry about the beep again. For the next little bit, I will then hook up the voltmeter, and then you would also be able to see that it's got power coming to it, and then we could charge if we wanted to. See you in the next clip. And once I turn on the battery boot pack, this will show how much voltage we have. I chose green rather than blue because I find green easier on the eyes. Sorry about that beeping, I know it's annoying. Just want to take a moment to go through a few products that we bought for the camper. So we showed you on one of the last videos that is part of this video, but these little puck lights, they look really sleek. They're dimmable, which is brilliant for us, and it's 10 to 18 volts, which means we can run a 12 volt system. Very simple. Tells you there's no instructions that come with them because it's from one of these Amazon purchases, but it does have a positive sticker, which would assume the other one is negative. Very sleek. When you cut the hole to the smaller diameter, this will just pop up inside, and then you'd never see it. It'll just sit nice and flush. We're going to use these in the galley and in the main compartment, the main living area. The other lights I bought are these strip lights. They come with a 3M adhesive backing. I'll probably use some other glue to glue it to the camp kitchen there. But yeah, they're just nice little lights. And then we have just a little cable. We added this shrink wrap. I say we, I mean me. I added this shrink wrap just because I was worried about water getting into here, so I've made sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, if we're out in the rain or just a little bit gets on it, I don't want these to, I don't have to replace them all the time. But you saw these on the camp kitchen update when they lit up, but they're just nice little LEDs. The other products we got are on our socket and switch boxes. The dimmable light switch, I went for the silver one. It comes in black as well. These are all purchases from Amazon. These switches, the locking switches, again on Amazon. These have these all light up, as you saw on the camp kitchen and the other videos for when we created this box. I really wanted a voltmeter on this, just so I have another access point to see how much power is coming through the system, and again USB ports just for ease of charging phones and whatnot. Yeah, so those are the things we've got so far for our electrical system. We obviously have fuse boxes, and we'll get fuses to allocate for each piece. But yeah, it's coming along. We're getting somewhere with all of this. It's really nice to have a new space, a new garage to work in, and then the camper is still at our storage unit. So that's an update of our electricity and our plugs. All the features, we'll show you all the wiring and how it hooks up. I hope you've enjoyed our update. If you do, remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.